100% matters. No, anyway, let's start this off. You are listening to the Truckery Podcast. I'm Devin from OBS Solutions.
I'm John with Carrot Customs, and I think we kind of wanted to fill you guys in that we're making a concerted, I think that's the right word, a concerted effort at making this podcast an actual, real, consistent thing. We've had a couple meetings about it, and one of the things that we talked about was sometimes we don't want to just talk about OBS trucks, and I think that the OBS Truckery is a good name, but it puts us in too much of a narrow category, so we'll still talk a lot about OBS trucks, but instead we're going to go with the Truckery Podcast.
Well, we really enjoy everything from C10s to, our Fords to our Dodges, certain Dodges, but like we really enjoy a lot of the different trucks that are out there. Now, our heart and soul is in derpy old Ford trucks, right?
Right.
But we end up bullshitting so much about all makes and models. Even cars, you're a car guy.
Oh, yeah.
And so we talk about that shit too, or we'll just talk about whatever, but we are still going to beat the shit out of the marketplace too.
Oh,
that is not
for
changing.
sure. No.
The marketplace moment is something that we are really going to strive hard for. So much that we're recording this on a GoPro. We hope the battery life stays long enough. John has a TV set up so we can show you what we're looking at on the old marketplace.
We're making this like an official like podcast
and you have a
studio.
soundboard.
Yes.
I mean, we're actually trying our best here, people. We've talked about it before, and we had a meeting about, 3 weeks ago up at the cabin, and we're like, had a meeting with the wives. We're like, hey, do you want to do this or not? Like, we're so half-assed with it, and so we're going to give it our all. In fact, I even put a dates down on my phone.
Yeah,
that's
we
a
have
big deal
it
right
in
there.
the calendar.
Yes.
And it's gonna be good.
It's gonna be rad. So we're gonna make a serious effort and ride this train off the rails and see how it goes.
Yeah, maybe, I think we could get at least close to Rogan,
Yeah, maybe, or Sean Ryan.
Yeah.
I don't think we can get close to Kill Tony on his YouTube if we're gonna.
Yeah, that might be
tough.
I bet it'll go like Joe Rogan, Sean Ryan, and then the Truckery Podcast.
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
I'd
be good with that.
Okay, I'm okay with that too.
Okay.
And today we're sponsored by coffee, water, and then later we'll probably be sponsored by whiskey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say so.
What do we start with? You want to start with questions?
Sure.
Okay, go ahead.
We haven't responded to any of these in a while.
Do we start responding to these people on like these social media platforms? I don't know if let's make Kenny do it. That'd be great.
That would be.
Oh, there's a lot of questions.
Yeah, those are like a year ago.
Oh shit, we're not.
Let's not go that far back.
Leprechauns.
That's just like a straight up comment.
Oh man, Brandon Byer. He works.
Oh yeah, he works at for Casey.
Yes, he does.
Yeah,
yep.
Casey Meadows. Okay, so yeah, and just as a side note, this is now video on Spotify. I don't know what other platforms do video, but Spotify, and we're gonna have it on YouTube.
Okay, so we're hoping this lasts long enough, right?
Yeah, it will.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we're good.
Sweet.
This is our first trial run with all this. So yeah, I mean, we've got.
I love this one. Give the Northeast a marketplace search. You'll be pleasantly disgusted.
Actually, we did see that.
Yes.
And we've gone over that. Okay, so I'm just trying to find. Actually, this would be a good one.
Okay.
This guy, James J. McCamey. This was a while ago, but said Ford F-350 with 7.3 and ZF5 with 265 tires, 410s or 373s for towing 10,000 pound fifth wheel.
Okay, here's one for you, James. What environment do you live at?
Exactly.
Are you living in the mountains, like high mountains, like I don't know, Colorado,
or even like your drive over here? Yeah,
Central Oregon or the valley to Central Oregon. I mean, 5,000, 6,000 feet climbs, or that's a question. Or are you like you're in South Texas or wherever it's just Texas flat, Oklahoma, those areas?
Yeah, there's no hills or mountains.
Right.
With what are 265 75s?
Oh, I always get those messed up.
I do too. 265 75 R16. I'm sure somebody's like Kenny is yelling at us.
Right. Oh, 31.
31.
They're not very big at all then.
Not very big.
They probably pull pretty good then.
I would, depends on how on what's been done on that 7.3. If you live strictly in the mountains and high elevation, then 410s. But for just about even around here, I would probably run 373s.
I feel like a 410 is going to wind out. Like at 60 miles an hour, the thing's going to be screaming on a tire that size.
Yeah, that's not.
But when it comes to hills and pulling,
your motor's gonna be happy.
Yeah, so
everything will.
I know, I got it, James. You just take extra tires with you. You switch them out.
Yeah,
put them on. Put bigger things like 35s on there, 36s. When you're on flat, hill, unbolt, bolt those up. Now we're into the hills.
That's a good option.
I'm here. I'm a problem solver, John.
Yes, that's key. Okay, so I guess that was fairly easy.
Well, I mean, technically, sorry, we didn't really answer James' questions. What would we pick, right? So, I guess I would.
Depends on speed limits too,
or like in terrain, but maybe a 373. But then you have a spicy powertrain to make up for.
Yeah.
So there you go, James. You put the 373s in, so cruising speed's manageable, and you have a good time. It's not like screaming, and kids in the back aren't like, "Oh my gosh, Dad, the drone is amazing." And then you just you T4 it or intercool it with
for
a bigger
sure,
turbo,
intercool.
Some injectors. Obviously, we need to check our EGT, so put an EGT probe in it to make sure you don't overheat it.
Which my personal favorite, I think it's yours too, is the Edge CTS3 Insight. It's so
by
nice.
the way, if you have an Edge and you have problems with it, make sure you do the updates.
Oh yeah.
Yes, do the updates. That'll take care of some glitchiness.
The other thing too is, what's handy with them is if you have an issue while you're on a trip, you can go in and you can look at your HPOP pressure, your ICP, IPR, you can monitor them while you're driving, and it's just nice to have diagnostic wise, even if you don't know what it means.
For sure.
But if you have a buddy that does, and you're like stuck in the middle of nowhere,
right,
you can call up your buddy that knows 7.3s really well, and he can be like, okay,
check this. I
need to know what these numbers are, and yada yada yada, and we can
or if you don't have a buddy, hit the Google, because the Google machine is pretty amazing with that stuff.
Yeah, it really is. Right. And then at least you're able to read it.
Next up.
What are your thoughts? Ooh, okay.
What's this say?
So I know this is an OBS podcast. Tyler Hoy. Well, Tyler, that is changing. What are your thoughts on the Super Duty 7.3 trucks? And when out cruising with your dog, where do they ride? In the cab or in the bed?
Dude, my dog's in the cab.
Yeah.
Well, you have too many dogs, though.
They're all in the cab.
You need an excursion. That's what you need.
Yeah.
So, first question. Actually, does it qualify if they're in the bed if a canopy's on it? Is that technically inside?
I think that's still in the bed.
Okay. I'm a fan of the canopy and the dogs in the canopy.
Yeah,
I
wouldn't be opposed to that. But I think if my wife had to pick between me in the cab or the dogs in the cab,
for sure,
then I would ride in the canopy or in the bed.
Yeah, you're screwed. You definitely are second class citizen.
I did.
To the dogs.
My old dog that I had before we got married, and then a little bit into our marriage, she would ride in the bed, no problem. I had to take that dog to college with me and leave her in the cab of the truck because otherwise she would chew up my couches.
Oh.
Yeah, and so
wouldn't chew up the inside of the
That's
vehicle?
what I was worried about. Some old rancher dude was like, "Look, she wants to be with you everywhere. Just leave her in the truck. She'll be happy." So I started doing that. Got in trouble at school because they said no dogs allowed in vehicles, but I just didn't care. And she never chewed anything up. She's happy as could be and sitting in the truck.
I figured Ben's school would allow dogs in the classroom with them.
Yeah.
As goofy as this town is.
Yeah, you would think.
You would think they'd be okay with that.
Yeah, I think it's going that direction.
Which would be cool.
Yeah, totally.
Right? But his first thing...
Super Duty 7.3s.
I love them.
I do too.
They're awesome. They already come intercooled.
Yep.
They have...
E-fuel.
They have e-fuel. I like that usually they're 40100s, right?
Yes.
And I like their axles better.
Yep.
In a lot of ways. Give or take. I mean, a Unihub versus repackable.
It's like 6 of one, half dozen of the other.
Right. You know, I think that technology's come a lot with bearings in the sense of better bearings for, you know, that setup. Better brakes. Yeah, 4-wheel disc.
Yep. 10.5-inch ring gear instead of a 10.25.
Yep.
I think that the frame is decently beefier. I like the extra room in the cab.
Okay, okay, that is 100% correct. There's more room in it, but that's the problem with those trucks. That's what makes them not look as cool, in my opinion, as an OBS Ford.
Yes.
The cabs are taller.
Mm-hmm.
And so then you put a 35 on it, and you're like, are those 33s? Like, they don't look as cool because the cab is so much bigger.
Yes.
And like a 37 barely fills up the fender well and makes it look cool.
Yes.
But to be honest, I still think that's it's another iconic truck that is going to be sought after. It already is, but it will be next down the pipeline, I think.
And I've had that 01 Super Duty here, Anthony's truck, for quite a while, doing all the front suspension development on it. And the more I look at it, the more I'm like, man, I like this truck.
Well, they're that in between of like I always think like the OBSs are that in between from a all 70s metal truck to like early Super Duties. That OBS is in between that, right? We still have a lot of metal in it, but it's got like plastic. And then it's like Super Duties a bit more plastic. It's like added a lot more and less metal. And if you get under the hood, you could tell the engineering has changed a bunch. It's a little more precise than our OBS Fords. The frame, I think you're right on the frame. It's definitely beefier.
It's still a C-channel frame.
It is.
The interesting thing too is the front half of the frame from like just in front of the front doors forward, is all riveted and plated together. So there's different part numbers for different front sections of the frame for like, I can't remember. There's like 3 or 4 different ones, but they're all 2-piece frames. And I've heard a few, concepts as to why, like maybe crumple zone or
the frame's a 2-piece.
Yes.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's very. I didn't know it either, and I've learned a lot doing the 99 to 04 coilover front suspension.
And they didn't change those trucks much even after 04 in the sense of the cab's the same as 05 to pre-aluminum duty. They're all the same cab basically.
Yeah.
The seats, everything's all interchangeable, minus obviously 7.3 versus 6.0, or if it's a V10, that kind of stuff. But they are pretty much all interchangeable, like the OBS platform.
Yeah, exactly.
And another cool thing about it is those trucks, you can get more accessories for them, hence newer stuff like amp steps bolt right to them.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, it's a little more frequent.
Yes, I think that there's a better aftermarket, and I think the aftermarket gets significantly better in 05.
Yeah.
But that's actually why we're starting to do some 99 to 04 stuff, because that market is way bigger than I ever expected.
Especially excursion market, which is so cool because excursions, you couldn't even give them away back in the day if they're a 6-liter.
Yeah.
Like you got a 7.3, okay, that's worth some money. But it's like, it's an excursion with a 6-liter. Nah, you just go ahead and take it. I don't want it anymore. Now they're like holding their value. They're worth a bunch of money. And really, it's pretty cool. It's like a Suburban on steroids. Way beefier. Even a Suburban, when they had a 3/4 ton Suburban, the excursion is way more stout.
It's a Super Duty.
Yeah, 100%.
Not to derail answering questions, but you know how I told you I have a story to tell you?
Let's hear the story.
I bought an excursion last night.
Oh, hey, did Trin know about this excursion?
Just curious. Yeah.
Okay.
Because we've had such a huge response to doing the coilover suspension up front on Anthony's truck, but we did stock height. That's what he wanted. So now we have to develop like the leveling 2.5 and 4-inch. And I'm like, I just have to buy a truck. Like I need something to do development 100%. On. And I told her, I'm like, I don't really want another truck. I have 3 trucks. I don't need another one. I would get one, but I think I want to do an excursion.
Did you sell her on the excursion because you get all the dogs in it?
Well, she was looking at it. She's like, wow, that would be kind of nice for road trips and stuff, like hauling around dogs and everything. So I've been shopping for the last like week for one, and I had a cheap budget, like $5,000.
Okay.
And I found one up in Seattle area, and long story short, Anthony and Tony have to come down and pick up the Super Duty.
Yeah.
And I don't like asking people for things, but I know that those guys are in on that sort of stuff too. Sure. So I'm like, I'll just see like if they would be interested in maybe picking up a rig for me. Then they could only, then they could just drive that down and pick up the Super Duty and drive that back. And so I sent them one that I thought was pretty cool. I talked to the guy, got it, that, he's like, yeah, $5,000. But in the pictures, I didn't notice it was 2-wheel drive. So Anthony responds like, oh, so you're in the market for a 2-wheel drive excursion? I'm like, oh, gosh, dang it. So then they sent me a link to another one that was right up near them that had 109,000 miles. It's a limited
V10.
V10.
Okay.
It's got some bumps and bruises.
That's okay.
Nothing. It's not flawless, but I was able to pick it up. Or they went and looked at it, and I talked to the guy beforehand. I'm like, look, $5,000 where I want to be. He's like 6,500. I'm like, how about 6? It's like, all right, we can do that. So they went and looked at it and test drove it last night, and I got a text. I basically told them, I'm like, I trust your guys' judgment.
Yeah.
If you don't think that this is gonna like get you guys from Seattle to here safely, then don't buy it. Like
that's a bold thing to put on. I'm like, hey, buy this for me at this price. Like, here's what I negotiate down. But you guys are the one that have to test drive it all the way here.
Well, no, they test drove it.
No, I mean, like, you're gonna put the miles on it to get here.
I told him if you need anything, I will meet you.
Did you give him like a AAA card or something?
Yeah.
Number?
Oh yeah, we'll take care of it. And I'll pay for all the fuel, pay for everything, and make it worth their time. Though. But yeah, I got a text from him last night, and he's like, "Congratulations, you're the proud owner of an excursion." I'm like, yes,
that is killer.
So
are we gonna come and swap in then? Is that the goal?
Oh yeah, Common Rail Auto
or a Duramax it.
This Duramax project is a financial irresponsible thing for me.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Must be in the air.
Yeah. They're very expensive to rebuild. And
I've heard that.
I think a Common Rail, plus I don't need 2 Duramaxes.
No, but a Common Rail in one of those would be so cool.
Common Rail, suspension dialed.
Yeah.
Like,
go out in the snow with it. Go on your trip. Go to your trips down south like you normally do.
Yeah, I think it'd be sweet.
Take all the dogs. Maybe get a couple more dogs.
No more dogs.
If Trin ever listens to this, Trin, you can get more dogs now. There you go.
But I just think.
What color is it?
It's blue.
Okay.
With the tan lower. The limited one.
I have some welds that would go on that.
Do you?
Yes, I do. 2 sets.
Really?
Some Outbacks. In a 16. 16 by 8, so they're gonna be a little narrow, but
that's okay.
Yeah, I look killer on it.
I might be interested in that.
I'll hook you up.
The whole like Cummins swap part of it is not happening for a while. We got to get the Duramax truck done.
No, just drive that V10 around, make a bunch of noise, don't go anywhere. That's perfect for V10s.
Yeah, it's gonna be great, and I'm excited about it. So
that's awesome. So what are you gonna do? You start with a 4-inch lift with it, or just like do a 2, drive it around, then 4 after that?
Yeah, I'm gonna just like start with the like leveling 2.5, fit 35s real clean.
Yeah.
Then we'll go to the 4 just to develop it.
Are we gonna go past 4? We're gonna do a 6-inch.
I mean, it depends.
I know you don't like to party that hard.
I personally don't, just because it's harder to get the geometry.
Things start acting goofy.
Yes, and I don't like goofy. I like I want it to be good. So we'll see, but at least up to 4.
We can't talk about like bro truck status. You don't want to do like 12 inches of lift, and your
Hausman keeps trying to get me to do that, and I have a hard time.
Those trucks must ride like shit or steer like shit. The bump steer must be amazing.
I don't know. Yeah, it's just you got to do a giant gaudy, bracket.
I think you would be good at plating. Just like plate over your products. I picture like some maybe like chrome.
Oh, the overlays.
Yes, the overlays. I picture all your stuff being overlaid. Maybe like all the bling, and everything needs to be a triangle cut.
Yeah.
Right. So dirt packs in there and hard to get out, but like it looks cool.
And I can appreciate the, the craftsmanship that some of those trucks have to do that. It's not the vibe that
Your style's a little different.
I like highly functional, good performance.
Yeah, you're not a trophy truck guy. You're like, it's like a cross between a trophy truck and I'm going to drive this to go get a Christmas tree.
Yes.
There you go.
Exactly.
Perfect.
And I mean, you can't buy bolt-on suspension that does trophy truck things.
No.
Like that's just unrealistic.
You can buy a Ford Raptor
that doesn't.
I guess that would get
our bolt-on suspension will outdo a Ford Raptor.
That would probably get you the closest mall crawler. Hey, look at my trophy truck that I bought, next to my Tesla in my garage. That would probably get you the closest.
Dude, and I wouldn't mind having a Raptor. I think they're pretty sweet.
Yeah, but for the price tag, you can get a lot of other cool shit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right?
I'd rather have a 911 than a Raptor.
God damn, really?
John, an old air-cooled 911?
No.
Oh,
no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Let's see. If I was going to own a Raptor in place of a Raptor, what would I have? I think, okay. You know what you buy instead of a Raptor? What? That new F-150 you can buy that's four-wheel drive that you can buy from that dealership, and they put a turbocharge or they supercharge it. Oh, Austin and I were just talking about that. Cletus McFarland did it where he has two of them now,
yes.
and they're racing.
Yeah.
I think I'd spend the money for those single cab trucks, lowered.
Yes.
Comes with a warranty. You can go do smoky burnouts, four wheels, all that stuff. And I think I'd buy one of those instead.
You can get like 700 horse with a Whipple.
I was watching that video this morning. Are they good? I never watch his stuff. It's amazing.
Dude, he does so good.
I love his helicopter.
Yeah, and he just seems like I've listened to him on a lot of podcasts. He seems like a very personable, like what you see is really how he is.
So here's how big deal we are. Our engine builder builds engines for him.
Nice.
So I'll talk to Ryan. And he goes, "Oh yeah, I'm working on
Garrett.
Yeah, Garrett's engine or something like that." He says he's a super nice guy. Like you said, down to earth.
Yeah.
Which I always thought was kind of cool.
No, that's what I think is.
So if we get our YouTube channel podcast, we could get a helicopter eventually.
I'm totally down.
I don't know if we can fly it, but we'll figure it out.
Colin just said he's packing up at the shop and headed our way.
Sweet. So for you guys, we're actually investing in a person to edit our shit so it's actually precise. And Colin is a gentleman we're going to hire to do that. Well, it might be we're going to test it out. This might be a job interview.
a very low paying job.
Yeah, like we're testing him out to be like a Rogan Jamie, I guess is our expectation.
Yeah, I don't even know. Like it started off with just editing, and then it's like, well, I'll just come and try and hang out with you guys for the day and see how it goes. So
he's gonna be very disappointed.
Probably.
Guaranteed. Yeah, he's like, oh my gosh, what am I wasting my time for?
No, it's gonna be good.
So thinking, we were talking about the chrome plating and all that stuff. So can we look up real quick?
Yes.
That's a squirrel hair.
No.
Fire Punk Diesel.
Oh yeah.
Okay, have you seen that Dodge they did? Like, I don't follow them. I just stumbled upon them accidentally. Very impressive, right? But they did it was on their Instagram page.
Okay.
Sorry. And they did this Dodge pickup with all the overlays, and it is incredibly impressive. See if we can find it here.
Oh,
look at this Dodge. Look at this Dodge.
Yeah, this thing was at SEMA. Yeah, this truck is insane.
And it runs. I mean, they done polls on the dyno with it.
I love how it kind of takes the lowrider, LA sort of vibes.
Look at the front axle.
Yeah,
the front axle is an aftermarket axle, and the seat knuckles are all like custom built.
Just all the engraving.
Yes.
On everything.
Look at that. Is that not the coolest thing?
Oh my gosh, it's a piece of artwork. You see the wastegate dump tube?
No, I missed that. Dude, I mean, just everything's in its place. Unreal.
Even the V-band clamps are engraved.
Is that unreal?
It is insane.
I don't even know what. I mean, that's some. I wonder what the price tag on that was.
Oh, I don't know.
So you get everything engraved, and then you get it dipped in gold.
Yeah, all plated.
Yeah, and plated. So what do we think that would cost? And it's everything.
It is. I mean, this is just artwork. I would never drive it.
Right?
I mean, yeah, gosh.
What is that? I mean, that scene is different, right? Because that's a pull truck then? Just a dyno truck, basically.
I would say so. I don't know. It looks like a drag truck /
street truck.
Yeah. Slash like pole, but those tires have got to be, well, there it says 1770 horsepower. Oh, it's on the dyno right now. Yeah.
Could you imagine if that thing just blew up?
I'm sure they aren't pushing it.
Look at the hairdryer on there.
Oh, yeah.
A couple of them.
I bet that motor's capable of like 3,000 horsepower, but they're not going to risk. Right. That's not a dyno queen that they're going to risk, tearing a block in half.
And I think Ron was saying that's a solid block.
Oh, yeah.
I think Ron was talking, filled and all that. I think that's one of the coolest. I mean, like, not my style, but the level of like detail shits on anything we're doing.
Yes.
Hands down.
5.3-inch turbos. They're not measured in millimeters.
They're in
inches.
You know you're a big dog when you go from millimeters to inches, right?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Or I guess, if you wanted to keep it metric, like you could go centimeters.
Well, check out. So there's other pictures of the interior, and not just I found some other pictures on there. They show the interior of it, and it's unreal. In fact, there's another picture of it, the chassis to the left.
This?
Yeah, look at this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, just that. Like, all of the pulleys on the engine are custom machined, like, wheels.
How do you engrave that stuff?
And engraved. I don't know.
The engraving blows my mind. You'd have to have a guy there in-house to engrave all that stuff, or like you just have someone like you go to his house with all these parts and pieces, engrave this, every single little bit.
It is, and then see the milled, or this like all CNC machined intake manifold that's then been TIG welded, like
because they do it two parts
together. Yeah, this
insane.
Yeah, go to Firepunk Diesel's Instagram and look at this because. The exhaust housing on the small turbo is engraved.
I can't even like fathom the engraving part. And look how so here's what cracks me up about the engraving. Everything's uniform.
Yeah.
Like
how do you do
that?
I don't have that brain.
And what's cool about this is engraving usually is like your Mexican lowrider stuff, right?
Yes, exactly.
Which is so cool because it's two things coming together here. You have the pole scene, the big, rolling coal scene with the engraving part that you'd see on mostly an Impala of some years, right? With like wire wheels and like hydraulics.
And it should be
bouncing
in there.
You're seeing it together comboed, which I love.
Yes.
I love the two worlds come together.
I 100% agree with that.
And I think that's what makes this so cool. It's not just powder coated shit. It's stepped up the game big time. So whoever owns this truck.
It's owned by Garrett Niss.
Garrett Niss. Well, Garrett Niss, that's, I don't know. That's amazing.
Yeah, it is. It is absolutely. See the emblem G Money on the valve cover.
I hope they show the interior. I saw pictures of the interior.
It is. I mean, this thing is just absolutely wild. I just want to know, like.
What's Garrett do for a living?
Yeah, well, that. Yeah. But, like, something, like, I'm curious, like, what it costs to have this truck put together.
I'd be curious.
Does this show interior?
Maybe. No, this is a frame. Look at the frame.
Yeah, all tubular.
They said they'd put it together in 2 weeks.
Gosh. I mean, once it's already been together once.
Yeah.
But still like 5 times.
Or more like it. Yeah. But the question is like when you go to put stuff together, not scratching stuff or cross threading or like, oh my gosh, like I got some little bit of plating inside the threads. Yeah. That's the shit that holds you up.
Oh yeah. Even just assembling all the powder coated parts on the Duramax.
Yeah, it's like it's
a slow process.
100%. I think just one of the coolest looking things I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, this is one of those like it's not my style.
Right, but it's the combination of the two coming together.
Yeah, the art. Oh my gosh, look at that manifold. Yeah.
I like how the water lines are all. I mean, it's very unique. I wonder what front end that is. That's what I thought was kind of interesting, like that axle.
It's got to be an AAM with custom knuckles.
I don't know the differential. I don't think so because the differential's all square cut.
Oh,
I bet it's a custom. Yeah, I bet it's just a third member style or something like full on race truck. There is pictures somewhere of the interior after it's done. I can't remember. Is this the owner?
Yeah, this is the owner's page.
Wow. Oh, there you go. There's some other pictures.
It's at SEMA. I'm skipping through these quick because I'm trying to find the interior. There's got to be...
I don't know, but he has a lot of cool trucks.
Yeah, he does.
If those are his trucks, that's... Wow.
No. Yeah, where did you find that?
I found the picture somewhere. I thought it was on Firepunk's website or on their Instagram, but I can look back through. What? I mean, obviously he's a Dodge guy, but I saw some Fords in there too.
Yeah, he's got a lot of Dodges.
Anyway, I thought that'd be kind of a cool truck to talk about. I really enjoy seeing something like that.
Yeah.
And the talent of that guy's shop to put that together is very impressive. And then just going down a rabbit hole looking at his stuff is very impressive as well.
Yeah,
some of the stuff he's done.
He's got some really cool rigs.
Big into Cummins stuff.
Can't blame him.
I know, right? I mean, everyone hates on a straight six, but is that the truck right there? That's it right there. That's how it began, I bet.
Yeah, I think you're right.
It looks kind of good right there.
Yeah, it looks great.
Not bad.
And then he decided to just go.
You know what? I need a write off. That's what it was. I need a work truck.
Yeah,
write this off.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I bet that truck does.
Oh, I bet it's so fun. I bet it's so fun to drive.
Yeah, I bet
But you'd be worried about scattering it.
Oh,
Could you imagine if a U-joint blew up and you had a drive on just underneath there, just banging all that shit around?
I can't imagine that.
Or hey, I'm driving on the street, a gravel like a dump truck actually dumped a little bit of gravel, and you run over that shit, just everything underneath gets peppered.
Oh yeah, no, thank you. Yeah, I don't know what this is gonna. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see.
All right, moving on. So
moving on.
We better.
You want to do more questions?
We do a couple more.
Do
you guys sober up? See what? Oh no, I'm sorry, we did not. Remember that truck he's talking about?
Yes.
Are we looking at 3000 GT 2000? Is that the one we're talking about here? Did you guys? Okay. Did you guys sober up and not buy the pink Bobby R pussy wagon? I was glad to find the Facebook Market ad in its original 90s glory. Love to track down Bobby while he hears your good pod video. Well,
so that was that crew cab dually pink.
That was a 351 that hauled a race trailer that was color matched, and they had matching jet skis. Yes. He had a matching race car. It was so cool.
Dude, that was by far
in Florida, was it? It was in Florida, I thought.
Yeah, I think so.
And I wish we had the TV going then, because that was one of the most iconic trucks that we should have showed you, and it's really we couldn't even do it justice describing it, right?
Yeah.
I bet it sold. I bet it's gone. But he had the jet skis matched. Everything.
It was so cool.
What they want for wasn't that bad either.
It wasn't.
Like 15?
Yeah.
It wasn't that bad.
I think me and Hausman were talking. It's like,
we should buy that together.
$5,000 each.
Yeah, and then we all fly out to pick it up and we drive it home.
Yes.
No, we did not buy that. I'm sorry. Our wives would probably kill us.
Yeah.
I know mine would.
Yeah. At the time, mine for sure would have.
Right. But things are changing, though. We are going to buy a truck out of state. We're going to fly to it, and we're going to take, our rule is a crescent wrench, a hammer, and a screwdriver.
I mean, yes,
and we're going to drive it back.
Full game plan?
That's the full game plan.
We're not even going to bring like just a generic tool set?
No, just a crescent wrench, hammer, and you got to pick which screwdriver. You want a Phillips or straight?
Phillips.
Okay.
Because I carry a Milwaukee.
Look at that.
What do they call these? Fastback.
You carry that with you all the time?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, unless I'm wearing like nice clothes, then I carry
it's like a Swiss Army
Benchmade.
Oh, okay.
Dude, this thing uses a legit quarter drive bit that has a number 2 Phillips and a flathead.
That's on you 24/7.
Yeah, well, I don't sleep with it.
Okay, I would hope not. But
like when I have my work pants on,
that's it.
This and a a Sharpie, or actually a Milwaukee Marksall. I'm a little bit of a Milwaukee fanboy.
That's okay. That's not a big deal. They make good stuff. So anyway, back to what we're talking about though. That's kind of the game plan we've been talking about. Is find a truck somewhere out of state.
Probably somewhere in the Nevada area.
Yeah, because we like that area.
Do we?
I like Utah area. It's
I like
the same
Utah,
way.
yeah.
I'm like a big fan of Southern Utah, Arizona.
Yeah.
I like the Nevada area.
Like sometime around October in Nevada.
Yeah, I don't want to do it when it's too hot.
No.
I'm out of that.
Yeah.
Let's do it where the passes aren't nasty, but yet it's still somewhat manageable temperature-wise, because we're kind of wussies that way. I don't want to go full, like, middle of summer with 115 degrees.
Is it going to be an OBS?
Yes. Oh. Let me ponder on that. I think well, you bought an Excursion already, so that kind of X's that out. I think it needs to be an OBS. I really do.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
And I think we should, like I said, crescent wrench, screwdriver. Let's add a roll of duct tape.
Okay.
That's all we take.
Duct tape. Okay.
Yeah, and a hammer.
Jump box?
Nope.
No.
No.
Okay. Flashlight?
We have our phones.
Scan tool?
Nope.
No,
if we're taking a scan tool, we're taking a whole bag.
Yeah,
No, I'm like going out my comfort zone here.
I am down.
Okay.
You have forced me into I am much more of a
prepper?
No.
Oh.
Well, I do prep, but I was more willing to just send it a lot. And you have convinced me otherwise.
Well, now I'm going the opposite.
Yeah, so now you're going
You've
back.
convinced me to not, just to go ahead and send without tools.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to come to this even playing field where our tools are either barely anything or a lot, and we kind of find a happy medium where kind of how I figured it.
I think it'll be good.
But I think duct tape has to be standard operating procedure on you.
Yeah, I like that.
And obviously your little Milwaukee thing has to come with us.
Yeah, I carry a knife with me.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we'll be good.
All right, so that's the plan. We're coming into spring, maybe. Oh, you said October, so we'll get through truck show. We'll get through our summer, all that stuff, and in October, actually, you know what we could do?
What?
We go to SEMA.
Oh, that's
we go to SEMA, and then on the way, then we find a truck in that area we buy and drive home.
Perfect.
That would be a great one, and we document it.
Yeah, video for sure.
Okay. Do we take Hausman with us? I feel like we have to, because he is always the guy that gets out of a jam when no one else can.
Yeah, I'm down.
Okay, there we go.
Okay. Do we want to answer any more questions? I found more that are, kind of
9 months old. Yeah, better answer that one.
Well, this one's 7 days.
Okay.
Well, actually, these are just comments. Wyatt Campbell, the one with Paul, his favorite one so far.
Okay. Well, Paul was just asking me. I talked to Paul this morning. He was asking me, hey.
Oh, yeah, I forgot when you guys texted me about looking up the feedback.
Yeah.
I was on my way. I was in Southern California for Thanksgiving with family.
It was a holiday weekend. Trust me, we're not going to hold you to it. I did talk to Ben Kohler from Engineer Vintage, and he said the testosterone talk now has him going to get checked.
No way.
Yes, that's what he told me.
That's awesome.
I talked to him 2 days ago, and he's like, hey, your podcast. I'm like, oh, hey, man, I'm sorry. We don't really talk about shit like that. And he's like, no, it was really good. I need to go get checked and see what my levels are, because I'm feeling really lethargic, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I mean, if it helped one person, I'm stoked.
Yeah. I mean, that wasn't political or anything. It was just...
No, we usually stay away from that shit. And it was this was something that Paul, hey, I want to talk about this. And I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, it's up to you, bud.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so Ben was stoked on it.
That's fantastic.
And I think it was cool that Paul came all the way here, hung out with us for a couple days, did a podcast, and brought some things to our podcast that we normally discuss.
Yeah.
And it was kind of
great.
It was kind of like a light bulb that came off for us. Well, we should probably discuss the shit that we normally discuss that.
Yeah. That we just don't record.
Yeah. It's hey, fuck it. No one wants to hear that shit.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, that's super cool. I hope he doesn't mind being shouted out.
Sorry, Ben.
But whatever.
You need to rename the episode to Lewis and Clark of OBS.
Yeah,
What's that about?
I don't really know.
Why? Because we're in the northwest, or we're find these trucks. That could be it. Maybe that's what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
what are modifications for a 7.3 to make one more up to date so it isn't so sluggish? And gear ratios. We just talked about gear ratios.
I would say the first thing I would do is intercool it with a little bit bigger turbo and some injectors. Gives it some love. Not so much that you're rolling coal and causing high EGTs. There's a fine line there.
Right.
But that really helps them out.
Yeah. And, our recipe, I'm sure, is similar to yours, is like, if it's pretty much untouched, it needs up pipes, EBPV delete pedestal. Yeah. At least a turbo rebuild with a 360 thrust bearing, e-fuel, intercooler, and the Hydro Boost with getting rid of the vacuum pump.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. That braking system on our OBS Fords is like very dated. I love 4-wheel disc if you can party that way, but Hydro Boost really helps out. But the thing is, like, power wise, like John said, those are simple things. You can do them in stages. You don't have to do everything right away. And that helps out.
And then you throw a Hydra on it. Yeah. Even with stock injectors that all the O-rings are good, a stock turbo or that's got a wicked wheel or whatever in it.
Something like that.
As long as your up pipes are good, exhaust, like with a Hydra, it's gonna be a night and day difference from a stock 7.3.
Don't forget, your transmission's probably not gonna like it though, and the stock slush box you have is probably gonna exit the chat.
Which is where, when you do the intercooler, you definitely
put a bigger tranny cooler in it. Yeah, that does help, but be prepared. You start there and you're going down a rabbit hole. Eventually, you're probably going to want to do a different tranny or do a rebuilt tranny in it to help with that. Or maybe you already have one, or maybe your transmission's been well taken care of. Keep the fluid clean and cool.
Or you got a manual.
Or you're a cool guy in it and you're got a manual.
Rowing gears.
That's right. Well, XR80 air cooled, bulletproof. We got a dirt bike question.
Yes, this was, what is your pit bike weapon of choice?
Well, you're more of a bike guy than me.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm a full size bike guy.
I love full size bikes.
I'm not hating on pit bikes. I've gotten hurt more on pit bike. Well, I can't say that. No, that's bullshit. I'm gonna say KLX 110.
110?
Yeah, I always like the 110s.
With a clutch?
Yes. Oh hell yeah, I have a clutch.
Yeah.
Or the TTR 125 is really fun too, but they're really sluggish and heavy.
They seem heavy.
Yes, they are heavy. Your XR is like pretty dialed in.
Yeah, this was Jack that commented XR80.
Of course it was Jack.
Yes. Yeah. Considering he helped build the track, or built a lot of it.
Carson Brown, I love watching his content.
Oh, dude.
Carson Brown to me is like, he rides some of the coolest stuff, and you're like, oh, you never want to rip on that bike. And you see him just out there. Yeah. It's amazing.
He took like a moped through his track and is clearing jumps
on
it. I'm like, I am not young enough anymore my bones are not that, I can't do that.
I like to know where he finds, so I think his dad and uncle, they own BBR Racing.
Yes.
And so I think that's where all the vintage bikes comes from that he rides that I've heard of. I can't like say that's 100% true, but Carson Brown on Instagram is an awesome follow. But besides the fact he's a serious moto guy, I mean, skills for days. He then goes out and rides all kinds of bikes on all kinds of terrain. I love the off-road stuff that he does out in the woods, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And he's ripping old 2-strokes.
Yeah. In fact, I just watched one. It was a 93 KTM 250 SX, which I remember those bikes. They're fucking terrible. They had a PDS shock, no linkage. And he's out there just nailing it. It's so cool.
Goes for it.
Yeah. It's really cool. So anyway, we should probably hit the marketplace.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know when Colin's going to be here.
How long have we been going here? Let's see.
47 minutes.
Check out Eddie's truck.
Oh, yeah. Eddie's truck always looks good. Eddie Ariano.
I love that color.
It's good. It's a great color.
He's always changing up the wheels. Like, I always think like the wheels are different or something, or maybe
he's getting a little Kenny on the wheels.
No one can be as bad as Kenny on wheels.
That's true.
No one. Oh gosh, this is the part of the program I love the most. I love this. We're looking at side by sides. Hot tub. You know what? A hot tub for $750. You can't go wrong with that.
I just gave mine away.
Gave it away?
Yeah,
you gotta have a hot tub in Bend, don't you? For Central Oregon. I
didn't use it enough.
What's wrong with you?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, let's start off with contact seller up there with the OBS. Let's just check this out. It's a dually.
Ooh.
Right?
Oh, this is a fun one.
Oh.
This was in the OBS Ford Open Market Facebook group or whatever.
Okay.
And it's a dually 4-wheel drive crew cab long bed. And it says, "Hey all, I wanted to get an opinion on what this truck is worth. Not looking to sell anytime soon, but I get asked every time I drive it. It's a 96 F350 XLT factory dually, originally 2-wheel drive, 330,000 miles, bought from the original owner, rust-free, converted to 4-wheel drive, Sky's reverse shackle, ZF5, and a 4407 T case, and yada, like basic stuff."
So he wants someone's opinion on what it's worth?
Yes.
Why would you put that out there?
Yeah, that's one of the most annoying things you'll see posted in the Facebook groups.
I don't try to follow that shit. It's just
I don't either.
It's mind blowing.
And I'm not going to answer what this is worth because I really have no idea. It's
a good looking truck.
Somebody will pay for it.
That's exactly it.
It's a good looking truck.
Yeah, it even has the hot tub handles on it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I like that.
Something about a dually with a visor. They just go together like peanut butter and
jelly?
Yeah, that's it.
Or peanut butter and honey?
Peanut butter and honey is a rad sandwich.
It is.
That's that's good stuff. I mean, that's a good looking truck. What's it worth? I don't know. What's it worth to you? $9,000. We'll come buy it.
Yeah.
Sure.
I don't know. I think you can get more than that. Where do we want to look?
I mean, let's just... Oh, wait a minute. Go down. Scroll down. That bumper. Click on that Ford bumper right there. Where is that? Redmond.
Ooh.
Oh, shit.
Might have to go buy that.
Fuck you. I'm going to go buy that. That is... I saw it first.
All right.
Damn. It looks straight.
And it's very clean.
Oh, that... I might... Like, bumpers right now, especially rears, are impossible to find.
Yeah, and it has the brackets.
The plastic looks legit. Obviously, you get the scratches where someone had a ball on there, which, is what it is. But they didn't mar up the small piece of plastic. You don't have... Usually they get dented so bad around the license plate for people backing up, missing the hitch, and then smashing the bumper in, right?
Oh, yeah.
It actually looks really good. $250. That's a pretty good deal. Brad, we need to talk.
Yeah. Do we want to just search locally?
Let's the local scene's like, let's do something. What do you want to shoot? I feel like we need a dartboard in here or like at least a map of the United States and you just throw a dart.
Let's take a look in
Las Vegas. Okay. We're just gonna do trucks across, just trucks. Just push. Can you put trucks in? See what you come up with.
Yeah, we could try. That might get us.
Look at that bullnose.
A bunch of new ones.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that kind of sucks. Don't do that.
So,
you got there's. Oh, she's rough.
Yeah,
That's rough. But check out the paint scheme. This is a bullnose here. We've got a 85 F250. Regular cab, heavy duty long bed for $3,000. Need to sell ASAP. I'm selling my home soon. 1985 Ford F250. It's a diesel, a 6.9. Well, with the ATS turbo, originally installed from Factorias. AM option.
I think it was a factory option.
Okay, makes sense. Also has a highly sought after gear vendor edition. Okay. It turns over but won't start. I think it's ignition switch related, blah, 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 blah. I can spray starter fluid in the starter. It claims it sounds healthy when it turns over. 3,500 is my asking. Cash takes it. This is a very rare manual transmission 4x4 model.
It's the 16.
It's a 16 model. I like that. Clean title, Nevada. Nice. Let's roll that great bean footage.
Oh,
that's fine. Take your time.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the bumper's straight.
Right.
The
hood's not all dented.
It's not all dented. It's classic red interior
and the dash doesn't look too terrible.
Yeah, we haven't seen the top of it.
That's true. Oh, no. I shouldn't have spoken. It's got the cracks all over it. Yeah. It's your typical bullnose interior, right? Check out the center console or the
custom. What do you call that? It's like the overhead center console.
Yeah, that's like your CB, which it does have a CB in there.
Yeah,
I mean, it's serious stuff right there.
This is some trucker stuff for sure.
Oh, it's not. I just think that's kind of cool because the 80s had some color schemes that you don't see very often.
Yes.
No tailgate. That's a bummer.
He's got a lot of tailgate for one of those, and I took it to the scrapyard.
Oh, I mean, it's a pretty cool looking truck.
It's not bad.
What's funny though is you could take that truck, right, and you could pop the whole cab and the box off of it. You annihilate the frame. You go through everything. You put a gnarly powertrain on it. You lift it, and you put that cab and stuff right back on it. And you take it to SEMA, and people would be all over that truck.
Oh yeah,
like all just kind of rusty, crusty, but then the whole powertrain and frames all like pressed out.
And the interior would need to be.
Yeah, exactly. But how? I mean, like really, you could do that this day and age. It's a thing.
What is our? I think this is Colin.
Uh-oh.
Well,
do we end here?
I think we're gonna have to end here.
That's fine.
I'm gonna open the gate and yeah,
we'll go from there. Well, thanks everyone. This was a short one. We thought we'd just kind of test out some equipment, give you kind of like what we're up to in the sense of actually trying to take this seriously. I don't know. Is there anything else we need to tell them?
No, just stay tuned. There's going to be more to come. And be sure to let us know what you guys are interested in hearing about too.
We will answer your questions, or you'll see your comments and make comments back, or we'll interject. We'll do better about that. We've said this before, but we're really serious because, like I said, it's on my phone on the dates we're doing. So
maybe send the questions either on the Spotify polls or via direct message on the Truckery Podcast Instagram page.
There you go. Like John said. So, hey, John, thanks for having me.
Of course.
I'm Devin from OBS Solutions.
I'm John with Carrot Customs, and this is the Truckery Podcast.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers.